Here, fucking veterans now.
This the Big House to the Penthouse podcast. Stories of addiction and recovery. The lie is dead. We do recover.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
Welcome back to another episode of From the Big House to the Penthouse, Stories of Addiction and Recovery.
Welcome back, Carter.
As always, your host, Ricky Cruz.
And my co-host, Raul Moreno. Raul Moreno. What's up, Raul?
What's going on?
Shoot, man, it's all you.
Man, I'm sorry we're a little late. We had a couple of difficult.
I think we have a water pipe break. We had a water pipe. Well, yeah, we had an electricity surge. That was not a lot better, Raul. Raul, who's in the house, man? We've got another set of eyeballs here, man.
Man, we sure do.
Who is it? Why don't you introduce him?
Man, you know what? Ronnie. Ronnie's a good dude. I met him. Shit. It's been about 6, 7, 8 months, almost a year, probably.
Are y'all still friends?
Yeah.
Huh.
We get together on Sundays and talk about you.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's Ronnie. Look at the way he looks at me, man. He look at me with the little sly eye, man.
He's
a good dude. Yeah,
I'm just instigating now.
It's all right, man. So what's up, man? Raul, so Ronnie, man. Ronnie, what's up, Ronnie, man? Happy to see you. Actually, I saw you for a little last week. I came in and interrupted you. Toward man, y'all were having a good little intimate conversation. I heard, man. I saw the little preview. I don't normally look at it, man. Afterwards.
Really?
But yeah, I don't really don't. I'm like Johnny Depp, man. Whenever that he doesn't look at his interviews or his movies, he doesn't watch his movies.
I
did you know?
that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, at least that's what he says. So what's up, Ronnie? What brings you back, brother? And you were here one time. Did you do a second part at the first time you came? You did, right? So now you're back for the second half of you're on the fourth part. So what did I miss last week? What did I miss, Mr. Engineer?
We talked about a lot. We discussed Ronnie recently had a friend pass away.
Oh yeah.
And
okay,
we discussed that. And I think that kind of lit the match under Ronnie's ass
Mm-hmm.
to want to do more
in
the community of recovery, which is, it's a good thing, but at the same, it's not a good thing you lost a friend, but the spark is needed in the recovery community.
Right. Well, sometimes, man, it takes, it's unfortunate that sometimes it takes an event or a situation, either we lose someone or we almost lose ourselves or we lose a loved one, be it a friend, a family member or whatever to at the time is for us to get clean, right? Ourselves. Right. And then we a little time, and I think Ronnie would probably agree that sometimes, in our program, getting complacent, man, is very, very dangerous. You know what I mean? So sometimes we need that little spark. And then again, unfortunately, in this program, like our sister program, sometimes we lose people, man. And then we start thinking, hey, man, listen, so that could be me. That could be me. I could leave, a brothers, and we leave wife behind, and we leave loved ones. And it's scary. It's scary.
It is. It's definitely scary.
What is your look and that what I just said there, Ronnie? What's your thought about that? First, introduce yourself, man. Let's our guest let him introduce himself again this week.
I'm Ronnie. The lie is dead.
Right on. Yeah, recover, that's for sure. Right.
Number one. What do I have to say about I'm just a firm believer, and we talk about this all the time, Ricky. We have to stay the course.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take suggestions. Because the minute we think we know everything, we're screwed. Because now you're not open to suggestions. You're not open to how can I grow as a person? How can I get better?
Right.
That's pretty much how I think think about it.
And that's a person like me, Raul and Ronnie, thinking that I know it all, man. And I'm going to tell you, I feel a little growth from that, because accepting, being more open. That's what they keep talking about in the program, about being more open minded to accept new ideas and new people's point of view of things, man. And going, oh, well, maybe that. You know what? Maybe I am an asshole. Maybe. Well, no, I know it's hard to believe for me, right? But it's hard to believe. But maybe or maybe I'm being unfair. Case in point, man. I was talking. Hopefully, my wife isn't watching the show, right on her trip. She's going to go do yoga or something. But I was talking to a friend of mine. She specifically said
when she walked out, she's not going to do yoga.
She did. Oh, never mind. I won't say this. I won't say this story then. I won't say this story. No, I'll go ahead and say. I was saying that I was sharing with a friend of mine. You know what? I fell off track. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, Ronnie?
I can't help, buddy.
You can't help me. You can't remember what you were saying,
No,
right?
I know what I said.
Yeah. So I was talking about a friend of mine telling me about. I was talking about my relationship with my wife. And I remember how accepting things that I'm doing. You know what I mean? And reaching out to other friends and going, hey, listen, I'm having the, you know what, man? He told me he's been married more years than me, and he's come across this problem with his wife, and he shared with me, and he says, look, dude, I'm not a counselor by any means, and I'm not a good husband, I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good brother and all this stuff. He goes, but I've done some things, man, and I've done them different from what I used to do them, and this has worked for me. It may not work for you, but it worked for me, and this is what I did. You know what I mean? And we apply it. Or we'll make it. Well, in our program, we should call 2 or 3 people, right, and see, which one is that, right? Or we put some money together and hire a therapist, or we go to marriage counseling or whatever, right? Whatever. That's the deal. That's man. So being open minded, and it's been a change in my life. What about you, Ronnie, bro?
Go ahead, Raul.
Yeah. What things have you adapted in your recovery? Because you're coming along with us too. You're on this ride. You're on this carpet magic ride too, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
Shit. The internet's acting up.
Yeah,
so it's coming in choppy.
Uh-huh.
But we can reset it out. I'm sorry. What was the question? I was listening.
What are you doing different? What do you got going on? How are you dealing with new things and ideas and all that stuff in your recovery? Because you're on this trip with us too.
Man, new things. Of course, like everyone else, I changed the people and places. I had to.
Right.
And some people I don't speak to anymore, and things of that nature. But I had to change everything about myself, to be honest with you. And I was never like an emotional type of individual where I never discussed or talked about feelings unless it was to my girls. My kids, they knew. I told them constantly, I love them, I love them. I'm proud of you. But when it comes to anyone else who I was dating or in any type of relationship with, emotions was always a big thing of our relationship. That was missing. That would
really, because
I wouldn't say the I guess the things that are needed to be said. I keep a lot of shit in. I've become more open, man. I think being open is more. It's still rough.
You're more comfortable in your skin. Would I say that you're getting more comfortable in your skin? What was hard for me, Ronnie, is in the program early on, and we're gonna get to your story. Just making a little introduction. For me was, bro, it's going into the program and then leaving, and people going, "I love you," right? Right. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know what I mean? Oh, no, thanks, man. You know what I mean? And I hate to a friend of mine, Kenny, I won't say his last name, but he tells me that every time we meet, we've been meeting for coffee every Tuesday, right? For the last 3 Tuesdays, now Wednesdays. And then from time to time, he'll tell me, I love you, Rick. in a non homosexual. I was like, man, I'm cool with it, man. I mean, not there's anything wrong with it, right? I said, no, but he goes, I just love you, man. I love you now, in a bro way. I'm like, I know what you meant, bro. I said, I know I'm sexy. I know I'm sexy. But anyway, more to a serious note, Ronnie. So tell us what's going on with you, Ronnie. Pick up your the story that we left off last week, man. Do you remember where you left off, or
Go ahead,
why
Raul.
do you look at him?
Because he had the answers. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Man, we spoke. Actually, I was more on the asking questions side last week because of Ron. This is Ron's fourth time. So we asked questions about how his recovery is coming, what's new in his recovery, things like that. We spoke about his friend for a little bit, and he gave his condolences to the families. And we talk more one-on-one type basis. But I had a lot of questions for him, and this week is kind of like we know Ronnie. I feel like the audience knows Ronnie, and I feel like we can go into like different paths. Let's get deeper into addiction and recovery, because people are watching this and they look up to you guys. You got 10 years, you got 13, you got 11, my bad.
Okay.
Oh, you got 10? Okay, 10 is some change.
10 is some change.
And you got 13. You just came up on 13 not too long ago, right?
I'm actually coming up with 14 in March. But that's still a good ways away. So 13 is some change.
Yeah. And people watch this and look up to you guys because of y'all's time and because of what you do in the recovery community. I have simple questions for you guys. As far as things that I'm seeing from the outside looking in a way, in a couple of scenarios, and I want to know y'all's opinion because I'm a let's see, I help with the AA and I help with the NA. I'm a sponsor, but at the same time, I'm still learning and I'm new to this. So, I mean, there's times where, somebody will come up to me or I'll find out that somebody had relapsed. And it's hard for me to have, I don't want to say, I don't know if compassion is the right word. It's hard for me to feel sorry for, I don't
why
know.
I know what you're saying. You feel that you don't feel bad for them. You don't feel bad.
I do, but I feel more angry than
a disappointment. You're disappointed.
Yeah, but like,
are you disappointed?
I literally want to go there and beat the shit out of them.
Right.
But that's probably not the right answer.
Right. Well, but the first reaction would be probably good, right? To try to do that, right? No, it's not. No, bad answer. But because I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just because we have these high. I'm Ricky. I introduced myself, and I think I already did. But dude, you're not alone in that, man. Because I feel the same way too. You get you invest. Look, man, this is what we do, Ronnie. We invest not our time and our money, but we invest our feelings in people. Sometimes, bro. We get sometimes in this program, knowing that sometimes it leads us to a this isn't gonna get it, what I mean? He's not gonna get it. He's not gonna make the night. He's not gonna make it through the year. And sometimes, and maybe this isn't y'all, maybe there's nobody else, and it may be wrong the way I do it, but sometimes I'm like, I'm a little standoffish, man, and I put this wall up because I don't want to get hurt. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll do as much as I can. But when they do relapse, man, and when the time does come, and there's a someone that I saw a train wreck come, you can see it. Yeah. You see it, you stay back, and you're like, man, it was not going to be long, man, the way this is going, right? And then you're like, so I don't know about y'all, but me, I start standing back more and more and more and getting away back. When sometimes the part of me says, dude, reach out. Yeah. Reach out, man, and say something. You know what I mean? But then I don't want to be the bad guy, but that's a thing, man, that you toss up around. And I know what you're saying about that. It makes total sense. You're not a bad person for that. It's just, it makes you human.
And it's just man, there's a lot. And then I try to help and I want to help. But at what point do you say, like, fuck it, and just walk away? You know what I'm saying? Because if I feel like it's more like the way I feel like it's more draining to me than the actual person is going through or feeling like. Because you know, it's constant worry. Of course, it's constant, like, you know, you're checking up on them and they probably don't even know it. You know,
well, dude, imagine how our people felt about us, though.
Well,
Because I mean, we got to think about that too. I don't know. We got to see me, and I'm saying that because I stop and think sometimes of what I put my parents to, my family members, and my kids, and everything. So, hey, sometimes we have to go through that because you know we got to give we did that to someone. Now it's time for us also to take the beating too, right? I think. You know, it just depends on the person, I believe. It doesn't make us bad people.
Yeah.
It just makes us, you know, a little stronger in our recovery and a little further up. You know what I mean? Because we could also become enablers. We got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? By giving money and giving, you know, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We can. It would be easy to become that. You know. I don't know. That's my thought on it. What's yours, Ronnie? What's your thought on something like that?
I'm kind of the same way. I need you to show me that you want to do this. You know, because a lot of people will give people the benefit of the doubt. I can't really do that because I was one of them at one point. And, you know, me getting clean, the atmosphere was a lot different. You know, I had some pretty hard-nosed guys that, you know, sorry if I cuss, but they told me, you know, work the steps or die. You know, and now,
right.
And now we have people come in here and say, and you know, pat them on the ass and say everything's going to be all right when that's really not the case. You have to put the work in. You have to show that you really want to stay clean. I can't help you stay clean more than you want to. That's impossible. If that's the case, osmosis, I can keep everybody clean, which I wish I could, but that's not reality. You know, so I'm kind of the same way, Ricky. You know that. I'm gonna allow you to either do the right thing or not do the right thing.
So, if you don't mind me asking, with your friend, he lived in your old town, right? Your old hometown.
Correct.
Okay, right. And did you know he was using, or is that? Do you feel a little bad because you did know he was using and you couldn't do nothing about it, or you maybe didn't reach out?
I did reach out.
You did reach out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know that we've never sat down and talked about it. You and I. All I know is that that I know you went through a rough time with that, right?
Yeah,
so I actually apologize if I didn't. If I get any of the part wrong.
I did reach out, and
was this a friend of yours, a childhood friend?
Very much so.
So you were a childhood friend. You grew up grew up together. Did y'all use together?
Never.
Y'all never used together.
No. At that point, we kind of separated and went our different ways because he wasn't doing what I was doing.
Okay. When you say that is a different, he was doing a different drug. Is that what you're saying?
I guess.
Right. Okay. Nevertheless,
it's neither here nor there.
No, right.
You know, I took a different path. You know, and you know how it is when you're sitting there in the team. You know, you're not trying to be around anybody, or you're trying to isolate yourself as much as possible.
Right.
So for me, when that happened, you know, he would tell me, "Get your shit together." You know, he's like, "You need to clean up." What's really crazy, I a couple of years ago, me and my wife went up to Baltimore, and we stopped at a gas station, like in the neighborhood where I used to live, and I seen him, and he's like, "Ronnie," I was like, "Hey, Bobby, you know what's going on?" And he's like, "Man, I thought you were dead," and I'm like, "Nah." So you know, I'm a firm believer in divine intervention. I'm real big on that. And I think that was God connecting me and him again. You know, and then lo and behold, 2 years later, he reaches out. And you know, unfortunately, the ending was not the ending I wanted at all. For not just for me, but definitely for his family. You know, so I'm trying to. This has taught me that I have to step out of my comfort zone, like me and you've been talking about. Because it's easy to stay real strict to what you know. Um, but like Ricky said, we don't know what somebody's going through, and all it might take is a call or a text. Hey, how you doing today? Are you feeling all right? It could change somebody's life.
No, right, absolutely.
I think we talked about that a little bit on the last podcast. We were saying things like that because I was telling Ronnie that sometimes I text random people, not random people, but people on my thing,
right?
And I don't say anything. I just say, hey, fuck you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's if you can get him to respond. Yeah.
And that be it. And we got let me read some of these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You have to dig into. Oh nope, not that. Hold on, this one is more. Why do you feel that way? I learned some of us have to die for others to live.
Why do you feel? What
I think they were talking about what I was explaining and expressing. I guess they asked them. You have to dig into why you feel that way. Okay. And then I tried for years to say fuck it and told myself I was going to stop helping, but my heart wouldn't let me give up on my dad.
That's his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's right, 100%. We sit here and try to distance ourselves and hope tough love makes it right, and then I remember my dad telling me a story that at some point when I was he wouldn't take my phone calls anymore. And he's like, my heart couldn't do it anymore. And I get it.
Well, we don't get it at the time, though,
I get it now.
No, of course.
In hindsight, I can look back now and say, you know what, I definitely wasn't living right. But they have to deal with all of it. We just see the addict side of it.
Yeah.
We don't get to see it until after the fact.
We're still me. Yeah.
Exactly. So then we take a step back and start to work on ourselves, and we're like, man, I played a large part in all this pain.
Yeah.
So then you start taking on the guilt, and then you got to work through all that, because then you're starting to build relationships again with your family and friends, and you're like, you know what? Are they gonna ever forgive me for what I did, or like, cause we did some bad shit, man. I know I did. I know Ricky did. And I know Raul did. So, I mean,
yeah.
First of all, we got to forgive ourselves. Yeah. First and foremost.
Yeah.
Once we forgive ourselves, then we can start working on hoping and praying.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, man. I have resentment. My dad's passed away. Okay, he's not with us, and I have resentment towards my dad. Because he never visited me while I was in jail.
Would you blame?
What do you mean?
Like, so you
sort of way, yeah, I do.
Now?
Yes.
You don't understand it or look
oh no, I
it.
understand it. I understand it. I understand it 100%. I'm going to tell you something, bro, and God forbid that if my son would have become a recovering, an addict, I would not. I wouldn't. If he would go to jail and did everything, let's just mirror my situation with my dad. I would have. I wouldn't have. I would have been there. I would have.
Now, do you think it's that way because you've experienced the?
Because I've experienced, yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if that makes my dad a bad father. I don't know if it makes him protecting himself. I don't know. All I know is, yes, go ahead.
That's the old school Mexican, though.
Is it? Which part?
Not going to see,
You think?
Tough. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
But dude, I consider myself old school Mexican. No, you know what I mean? I do. Oh, is that older?
Yeah.
It's you think that because the older guys, the older generation, Raul, they also practice this. Why don't you stop? Yeah. Why don't you just stop? No, man, that's old shit right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's old shit. Macho, and being macho is one thing, dude, and old school is another. The old school thing is like, wait, why don't you just stop? right? Well, why can't you just quit drinking that last fucking beer before you act stupid?
Yeah.
Right? Before, wait, you're going to drink, you're going to get drunk. Why do you get in the fucking car? Right? That's why you're in jail, because you're dumbass.
Yeah.
That's the thinking, right? No, man, it's a disease that we have. They don't understand that it's a disease that we have. Alcoholism addiction, right? Which is, it's a drug. Alcohol is a drug. And I don't claim to say that it's different, because in our program, we consider it all the same, right? It's an addiction, just like food and everything else, a disease of the mind. So, that, and so was that what my dad was going through? I don't know. All I know is that, God forbid, if one of my kids or someone that I love, man, is going through it, man, I wouldn't leave them alone, man. It would be too hard for me. It would be too hard.
At no point.
I'm not sure. I can't answer it. I can't answer at this point.
Well, hopefully you
there's a friend of mine that was going through it, dude. And I was just talking to a Kenny today about it, that this particular friend, I'm not going to say any names, but he just received 2 years, right? I was going with my wife to a movie.
2 years sentence?
No, he's got 2 years clean.
Oh, okay.
So and a friend of ours, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my wife and I were going to the movies, and she remembers. And he, out of the blue, because I had been after him, getting him to turn himself in so he can be in jail and starting the recovery process, right? By being locked up. So he called. I was on the way to the movies with Lisa, and he calls me, says, "I'm tired, man. I'm ready." I said, "Okay, I'm on the way." I said, "Lisa, I got to go drop you off back at home, man. Or you're going to go to the movies by yourself." She goes, "Is this recovery?" I said, "Yes." So she knows I don't have to explain anything to her. When it's that, dude, that's it. No questions, right? I brought her back to the shop, and we were at the other shop at the time. And I was off to go get him, and he never showed up. And I waited and waited. So I went through all that, man. I went through it, but I couldn't give up. I couldn't give up because when somebody gave up on me, it just felt so fucking terrible, man, to be alone, man. That it's bad enough that I felt like I was hurting everybody. People in my program, dude, they say, "Oh man, I was an asshole. I had no well, you know what? I did have a fucking conscience, Raul, Ronnie. I had a conscience. I knew what I was doing wrong, and I felt fucking terrible about it. I felt so miserable because I saw all these things, but this thing had me, man. It had the grip. It had its fucking claws in me, Ronnie. I couldn't stop. I could stop for a day, but I couldn't stay stopped, man. 3 days later, there I am again. You know what I mean? Giving the dope man during Christmas. Can you imagine, Raul, Ronnie? Can you imagine giving the dope man my fucking presents to my kids? You know what I mean? Can you imagine that? Taking their necklaces off my kids at night and giving it to the dope man? You know what I mean? That's the shit. That's where it took me, Raul, the miserable thing, the misery that I went through, man. It was horrible. It was horrible. I knew what I was doing. And I had that conscience, man. I knew exactly what was going on. And being that I was a good guy inside, man, I till to today, back then, I think I had a great heart. But this thing I made the stupid ass decision to take a highly addictive drug, man. That was my fucking part. That was my fault, Raul. Yeah. Knowing good and fucking well that it was going to lead to shit. And I didn't even think about my kids before I did it, bro. I didn't think about it. But you know what? Here's the thing, man. We're clean today, Ronnie. We have a fucking choice. We have a choice today. Because I tell you something, Ronnie, it would be a tragedy. It would be a tragedy and a disgrace for one of us to use, because you know what? We got that monkey off our back. We can make better choices today because we have the opportunity to get clean. We had that opportunity. We don't, some of us that are in the game, and I say a horrible game, and I hate to call it a game, that we're active in this disease. We don't have that choice. We lost that choice when we used again, Ronnie. We lost that freedom while we were out there. Okay. Now we have that freedom today. All we have to do is, like Ronnie said, is do the work. Right, Ronnie? Yeah.
So you say you have a choice, right?
Yeah, we all have a choice.
Okay.
I think so now.
So now you have the choice to forgive your dad. How about that?
Ciao?
Yeah, I do I just don't want to.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to. Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes, and I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong about it.
Why carry extra baggage around?
Or do you keep it because it makes you feel some type of?
It does.
And so it uses motivation.
You know something like that, Raul. You must know something about that because you're absolutely right. That's for a reason.
Yeah,
there's a reason, and you're right, and you're right. I mean, not that you're. I don't know if you're right, but you called it. You're right, Ronnie. I get what you're saying, man.
But the beauty of it is
this is beautiful. This is a great conversation. You're right.
The beauty of it is though.
What is it?
There was people in my family that told me you're never going to get clean. I mean, people that were really close to me, and I used it as motivation, and I still use it as motivation.
But you continue to put work in.
But I continue to put work in. But still, I used it as motivation to. I'm gonna prove these motherfuckers wrong.
Right.
They think I'm just gonna die on the street. I'm gonna show them.
Yeah.
You know. So I get that aspect of it. But why carry extra gorilla around? Why? I'm not willing to do that. I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to forgive everybody, even the people that have done wrong to me, because Lord knows I've done a lot of wrong. I'm trying to right the ship now, but now I allow myself to just not forget. I forgive, but I don't forget. So I'm gonna allow you. I'm still gonna act cordial to the people that I know really don't give a damn, because they gotta respect what I do. Regardless if they like it or not, they have to respect what we're doing. Because what we're doing, a lot of people don't even get the chance to.
Right.
People don't even get chances to get into the rooms.
They do get the chance, Ronnie, but they just don't do the work, bro. They do get. Let me tell you something.
Not everybody gets a chance to come into the rooms. Though.
We all have that freedom.
How do you figure?
The door's open. All we have to do is fucking go.
They have to make it to the door.
Of course, right.
So if something happens and they don't make it,
what would keep anybody from not making it? The choice is theirs, right? Why? Because those claws are in them, Ronnie.
Correct.
Because the addiction. So, but we do have that choice. How did you get in there? Unfortunately, you know how I got in there. It took a life-threatening situation for me to go in there. That's what it took for me to almost lose my life.
Yeah,
right. But you know what the thing is that I've argued before, Raul, and I'm going to tell you this, Ronnie, is that it doesn't have to get that way, man. We all don't have to go through that. We don't have to almost lose our life. Right. That's what we're here for. Look, the reason for this, one of the reasons for this podcast, bro, is to keep people from getting that far, Ronnie, from losing our friends. You know what? We don't have to get to that point, man. Right. I mean, don't we? Isn't my purpose today, my recovery today in life is to tell somebody, listen, bro, listen, just go, man. Don't get to where I went, just like our parents told us, listen, son, I'm working as a bricklayer and getting these hands away so you don't have to. So you don't have to feel the pain I did, man. This is what this program and this podcast, I think part of you have your agenda, you have yours, and I have mine. This is what motivates me, Raul. I don't want to see somebody go through what I went through. You know what I mean? Getting in that terrible fight in jail. You know what I mean? Messing up this beautiful face, right? Right. It's beautiful, you know, and
in its own way.
Right? Whatever way it may be. But I didn't want to go. You think I want to see my son do that knowing that somebody put their hands on him in jail? No. No, I don't.
An individual's pain and journey, we cannot control that.
We're not supposed to deny anybody their pain. Is that what you're saying? Because somebody said that bullshit to me before and I didn't understand it, but I understand it now.
So let me ask you something.
Okay, go ahead.
If it didn't take what it took for me, we're just talking about me.
Okay.
If it didn't take me being homeless in multiple states, if it didn't take me losing everything, nobody to call. Literally nobody to call. I OD'd and had nobody to call. That's what it took for me. I said this in the last week. I had to be stripped of everything. God knew he had to strip me of everything in order for me to.
But did this happen to you in the first OD, or was it like 15 ODs or 3 ODs or 4 ODs?
Probably 4 or 5.
Okay.
How many rehabs?
7.
7 rehabs.
How many rehabs?
4.
Do you ever think how many rehabs is too many?
It takes what it takes. What it takes.
Yeah, I mean, it takes what it takes to get a good answer. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. The first rehab that I went, we spent like $30, right? And I got kicked out of it. I wasn't ready. I didn't realize either. They put my shit. They're like, you know what? You need to get out. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm paying. No, you need to leave. We need this bed. And I didn't understand it at the time. We need this bed for somebody that's ready. I was like, I can't go home. I was in Geshner, the Southeast Memorial, whatever. I was in there with attorneys. I was there with a Houston Texans player. He was in there. There was some high-end people in there, dude. It was an amazing place. You know, I got kicked out, packed my shit, and they told me, go out to the curb. You got to leave. I'm like, I don't even have a ride.
Number one.
Yeah. They took me and my wife at the time, she worked for Southeast Memorial and we had insurance. Right. And they took me there. Right. And that's where I was. I think I stayed there maybe 2 weeks. It was supposed to be a 30-day or a 90-day program. I got kicked out. They put my shit in the corner. They told me, you have to go stand. I said, what do I do? There's like, you have to go stand in the corner. You got to get off the property. Dude, I'm like, imagine me calling home. And I remember I told Robert, my son, he answered the phone. I said, hey, Rob, I'm on my way home. Dad, we just visited you like a couple of days ago. They said you said you're going to be there for 90 days. Your counselor said that, right? I was like, yeah, no, but I don't remember. I told him I got kicked out. I said, no, I'm done, bro. I'm done fixed, man. No, Dad, please, yeah. Dad, please, no. No, I'm on my way home. I couldn't bear to tell him I got kicked out, man. Yeah. I lied to him, right? And I figured out a way. I got to ride home, man. And I get home and everybody's like, dude, go back. They thought I just left. And I couldn't tell them I got kicked out, man. I don't remember why. I just remember I was like, I can't tell them that. So, you know, a couple rehabs later, I went to another one and then in-house or whatever. But anyway, the one that did, you know which one did it? With Judge Sebesta, man. He told me, man, I went in there and he told me, he says, listen, fat boy. He didn't say it like that. He told me, listen here, Cruz, I'm going to tell you something. He put me on probation. When I got in trouble, and I went in on my first visit to see my probation officer. I spent 2 nights smoking shit and snorting shit, man. And I went in high. Can you imagine the insanity, bro? I went in high, but I went in 2 of those kits most $20. And one dude goes the other one, dude, Ronnie. It's gonna be better. So 2 of them, 2 cleanup kits, man. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm gonna tell you why it worked, or the third rehab, Raul and Ronnie, is because Judge Sebesta says, listen here, one more again, man, and you're gonna do your 8 years probation locked up, and then I don't want to hear it. That's it. And dude, then I got it.
So jail was a big.
It was a big jail. My kids came to visit me on Christmas in jail between the glass thing. And I was like, oh my God, man, I can't do this no more, man. My kids really. So it all kind of just. It did. It just all came together, man. And then them coming to I got released and they released me to the facility. They came and picked me up there and they took me straight to the rehab. And I spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve there, man.
What did you have a jail encounter also? What was your big?
I mean, I got locked up a couple times, for paraphernalia and stuff like that. But I think for me, I've been to a second rehab, which is Braz's place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you went to Braz's place?
Yeah, the second time, and nobody came to.
You mean they let you come back a second time?
Yeah, I had a connection with the counselor. She was really good people, and she knew I was an IV drug user, so she got me in. But nobody came and see. How they have the Saturdays where the family shows up or the friends show up, and you all meet in the cafeteria. Kind of like they do in jail,
right?
And I'll never forget out there. Nobody was there.
Really?
Nobody.
Wow.
And at that point, I realized I was like,
I'm alone.
It's over. Like I'm by myself.
I burned every bridge.
But then you know what happened?
Right.
The spark started. And I was like, okay.
How did the spark start, man? Tell us about that part, bro. This is the important part. Tell us about that, Ronnie. Tell us about that spark.
I just started praying a lot, Ricky.
Really?
I started praying a lot, and I said, and I made a pact with God. I said, look, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I just want to get off this shit.
But Ronnie, let me ask you something, man. I'm going to interrupt you. People don't have a relationship with God. man. What do you say to the people that don't have, are not religious or do not have spirituality the way we do? I mean, are they can be able to recover too if you don't believe in God? Tell me about that.
I mean, it don't have to be God. That's just who I choose to call.
No,
It
I
can be a
get it,
higher
right.
power.
Okay.
I didn't
So
believe in.
tell our audience what if
I
you don't
didn't bel-
believe in God, whatever you believe with, what is the what would you be your recommendations to them?
I didn't believe in God.
You didn't?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So I had to build a relationship myself.
Mhm.
Once again, you got to put the work in.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to do it for you. You think God's just going to hand you stuff?
Mhm.
You have to do the footwork. Everything goes back to doing the footwork. You have to do your part
Mm.
in order for God to do his part.
Okay.
If that's the case, then everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to,
Okay.
so for me, it motivated me tremendously to not want to be in that situation ever again, even though I had lived continuously for like that for 14 years.
Mm.
You know, one thing that you always said that always stuck out to me is it doesn't, you have to believe in something.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is. It can be your words, it can be that damn chair.
Right. Just don't believe in the doorknob because it'll turn on you. Okay. Right.
Wait.
Yeah, you go. Don't believe in the doorknob, man, because it'll turn on you. Yeah.
Hey, we got thank you for what you are doing. Awesome, guys.
Debbie, what's up? Debbie's my longtime friend, dude. We used to ride the bus together to school. That's my sister. Yeah, what's up, Debbie?
And then we got
what's up, Debbie? Thank you for joining us, man. Where's B with the Fajita Fridays, man? He's not joining us anymore, or what?
And it's hard watching someone you love slowly kill themselves.
Thank you for joining us, Felicia, by the way.
And knowing that it's not that person you know. You want to read this one, Ron?
My dad told me one time that he lied to me because he was an addict, not because he wanted to hurt me, but because he loved me. And still to this day, I don't know how to take that because I feel like if you love me, just tell me the truth. But unfortunately, sometimes when we tell them the truth, it could hurt them really bad.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing we want to do because we already know we're causing pain. So why will we try to cause more pain?
But the thing is also too, not just that, Ronnie, but to me, it's embarrassing. I mean, how can you tell? How can you tell someone, well, look, I'm a drug addict. I mean, it just don't. When I first came back from recovery, Ronnie, and I think I don't know if I shared this with you. I know I shared it in the group when I first came on that I used to say I was a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
Because I was too embarrassed. Some of my clients were starting to and I would log in all the time, man. I would log in there to the group in the vigilance group, and that's NA. And but I used to tell them, oh yeah, I go to AA, because AA in my mind, and I'm thinking in society's mind, is more an acceptable drug. Right? Social drug that people just happen to drink too much and blah, blah, blah. We think of drug addicts, recovering drug addicts as, laying under a bridge, which that's where it does take. Because even the alcoholics, it'll take you there too, right? But, it's just, to me, that's what I did. It's embarrassing. I'm telling anybody that. How do you break down your family? I'm a drug addict, man. I don't like cocaine.
What changed?
What changed it?
What changed you wanting to be more open about your Narcotics Anonymous?
The time I was putting together, yeah,
so
absolutely. I became more confident. I said, you know what? And I became more comfortable in identifying as a recovering addict, as a recovering drug addict. As I was getting more time and getting more confidence, and my confidence was starting to build, right? And then I said, also too, Raul and Ronnie, is, you know what, man? I started to think about all of us. It became, instead of me, all of us, man, because that's truly how it is. It's not this is a fight that it's for all of us to fight. We don't fight this individually, man. We have to get together on this, man. And like I said, we don't recover alone. We recover together. You know what I mean? We do, and I'll be the first one to tell you, man, that I've been very selfish in my I say that, and I appreciate Ronnie and Rachel always coming to my rescue. And Rachel always, man, when I say, well, I don't do this and I don't do that, I don't do the other, and she's like, motherfucker, you do this and you do that, and I feel great about it. I'm very I feel awesome whenever you guys tell me, Rick, look, you're doing some steps, man, because you're doing this. Sponsor knuckleheads, you know.
You help me just with your continue proving that we do recover. When I started my process, my recovery.
I mean, it's a process.
Just the small things you did on Facebook. You would share quotes, you would share motivation things, and that helped me. So I can imagine how many people.
Really, I think I remember you reached out to me, man, and told me,
yeah.
I remember you reached out to me, and I felt really good about it, man. And so that's why, you know, and again, I keep talking about this podcast, man. I think, you know, we need to take this thing to another level, man, you know, and really get the word out there. And, you know, and I don't know if our friends are from the facility are watching. They're supposed to be watching, but we're going to be there soon, man. And we're going to talk about this, man. And then soon enough, man, if this thing's, you know, goes to a different level, we're going to Washington, man. And you're there, you heard me say it. You know, we need to get some facilities here, get some not income, what do you call it, some funds for some of our recovering addict friends and people that are suffering with something we suffered with. And now we're fortunate, man, that again, we're fortunate that we're able to have these decisions, you know. But
they're watching.
Yeah.
And John says we do recover. And then
what's up, John? What's up, John? Plumber John, my good buddy. You remember Plumber John, right, Ronnie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. Let's see. What is that? Felicia said. She also says, I feel like if I'm here to help you every step of the way to help you recover, I just want the truth. And I want to know how the person or situation, how
to handle it, she said.
Oh, right. How to handle it, right. Yeah. Okay.
What do you got for that?
There's no book written for us that'll show us how to be loving, caring, compassionate when it comes to an addict, because we never know what they're capable of. Like the next hit or the next drug,
right?
And like you said with the conscience thing, we still feel. We just use the drugs to stop feeling, but we still know what's right and what's wrong.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's a weird conundrum because there you go.
Don't be using those big words here, dog. Okay, because I gotta Google it.
I've evolved.
Yeah.
So you
it's scary.
You have to look at it from both sides because now we can sit back and look and say, I was an addict. I was doing a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And now we can see it in hindsight. I was telling somebody the other day how reckless I was, man. Like I was 0 to 100 all the time. I was reckless, man.
When you say reckless, in which way? What are you talking about?
I mean, even what I mean by reckless, I just did whatever. Like there was no filter, there was nothing. So my problem was if I created it. That's why I have the tattoo. Dreams are only dreams until God and you make them reality.
Right.
That's for me. That's for me because that's how it happened for me. You know, I don't do drugs anymore, but I'm still fucked up. I still think crazy shit. You know, so I have to retrain my mind. So look at it from this way. I used for 14 years. God willing, if I make it to my birthday, that'll be 14 years. So I'll be clean as long as I did drugs. That's a big fucking deal, man.
Yeah, it is.
For a person like me, it's a big deal.
You just got like the milk, bro. Half and half. The half and half the milk, right? I used to call my son, because he's half Mexican and half white, I used to call him my little half and half. Yeah, my little half and half, Robert Cruz. Felicia says there's a lot of addicts do a lot of addicts addiction come from pain and hurt in the past of childhood. But wait a minute, because I don't know. I mean, but I
Absolutely.
hear that, Ronnie. Here's the thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the question. Felicia, thank you for the question. And I think I already said thank you for joining us and being really engaged in this. I really appreciate it. Great questions, Felicia. I really appreciate it. But let me ask you something, Ronnie. Here's the thing. Are you saying that your answer to this is that you use because of trauma that you had when you were a kid, or some kind of bullshit, something that happened to you in the past? Is that why you used, or you all of a sudden one day you just made a bad choice?
You think about that statistically.
Oh, here we go. Statistics. Here we go. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
It says that a lot is from past childhood and trauma.
Uh-huh.
A lot of
Where's that book at? Because I want to add my part to it. Is that like Wikipedia or something?
No,
or what? No.
I do a lot of research.
You do, man. You do.
I like to know what I'm talking about most of the time, but a lot of it doesn't come off that way.
No. That's awesome. Yeah, because you always come up with these statistics. That's good. That's good. But what does statistics say? Tell me about that. I want to hear about it.
I think it's like, if I remember correctly, it was like 68% of addicts. I might be wrong. It might be higher. Are addicts for the reason of trauma or childhood trauma. And it's high. It's up.
But dude, here's the thing, though. Let me put my 2 cents on this one, man. Because they say, okay, that and I've heard, I do my own research too. Look, man, I'm pretty smart too, Raul. Okay, now you're not the only one. Okay, Ronnie, I'm over here. Don't let me lose you, bro.
I still see you. No, I was looking at Ricky.
I got get little bells over here, man.
I got
So you don't lose you. All right. I forgot what I was saying. Well, no. Remember. Well, here's the thing. So that great question, but we all have different whatever here, but they also say the people that have been abused sexually become a sexual abuser too when they grow up, right? And have you heard that before? That they also become that, and also trauma that way can also, we have with psychological problems that don't go in drugs, but they have psychological problems. So in my opinion, not only addiction, trauma will spur on an addict or push out an addict, or however you want to say it, and an alcoholic, but also people that would do or people that would do other things, right? And that would affect their life in a different way.
That, and let's think about, like, okay, let's say I grew up in a household where my father beat my mother. You know what I mean? So there's 2 ways I can think about this as I grow up. It's either I don't want to be like that,
right?
And I'm gonna do it differently, or that's
become
normal,
right? And that's all you know.
What I see,
because that's what you saw, right?
Yeah. So I mean,
would you say you have a choice at that time, or what, or how do you see things?
I think so.
Yeah,
but I'm not a professional.
Well, we're not doctors, and we don't claim to be doctors, lawyers, or counselors, right? Who's gonna read that one?
Ronnie.
Okay. Go ahead. You want to read it, or you want to read it?
No.
He doesn't have his glasses.
And then I'll talk.
You will answer it, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk first, and then we'll answer, because I don't want you to forget what you're talking about.
I'll read it. No. Okay, go ahead. Go. Yeah, go ahead.
So for the trauma part of it, I think that's I think that plays a part. If you really dissect it, I'm a firm believer in your gene. Like, besides my family had alcoholics and drug addicts on it. So I also think that played a part. But yeah, I definitely think trauma, because at some point you just try to escape. Once you get old enough, you can start doing drugs. You're like, hey, I can do this. It doesn't make me feel. This is great. So there's a lot of layers to it. But trauma definitely plays a major part, I believe.
Well,
That's just my opinion.
I believe, and we're all entitled to our opinion and how we see things and how we read a book and then interpret it. That's why people interpret books and sentences in different ways. So we all have we reserve that right. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Here's my interpretation of that. Did I say that word right, Mr. Engineer? That is that me in my case, I didn't use although I had them. I'm going to tell you, I talked to this. I was talking to Kenny this morning about some shit that happened to me and I'll say this that it was Christmas. I was like 8 or 9 years old. My sister Maria, I'll say her name. We were at my grandma's. I'm not gonna say her name, Maria, right? We were at my grandma's. We were little, and we were there, and I'll never forget this, dude. I'll take this, and I've come to peace with this, right? Because of my sponsor Eugene at the time. But I was sharing this with Kenny that not knowing that this came up when I did this step with him. But it was Christmas, and everybody got a ton of presents, man. I think they got everybody like 8 or 10 presents, man. I got like 3 or 4. And Maria was like, look at Ricky. Maria was like, look at Ricky, man. He only got 3 presents. I was like, shut up, Maria. Leave me alone. I said, dude, I'm going to hit you. Go ahead. And she said, go ahead. Try it. And I'm like, man, dude, you can do that. Nothing. Come on. Bam, I hit her, right? She's like crying, dude. My dad, man, he comes over there, man, and he backslaps me, right?
Yeah.
Blood starts coming out. Dude, I was so hurt, man, because everybody's like, oh, look, man, you're bleeding. And I was like, dude, I carried that pain, man, for a long time, dude. I carried it, and it came out. Eugene and I did some work. Because he told me, hey, listen, man, make a list of all the pain in your life, man. Make a list. I remember doing this with his, and I was like, where did this come from, man? But it came out, man. And I remember the freedom, dude, by whenever we put all this paint on there, man, he took that piece of paper, dude, and he got a candle and he burned it. And he goes, and you get that little piece of paper where you're like trying to burn, and then he just threw it like that, man. He goes, it's gone, man. It's over.
Did you feel relief?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just like when you write shit down, it's true. You write it down, man. There's some kind of a freedom, man. We don't believe it because it sounds like bullshit, but it's true. It's true.
So she says, so for you guys who have children, can you guys imagine what us as kids go through with the hurt and pain from the lies and addiction? Just put yourself in our shoes. If the shoe was on the other foot and it was, damn, that's deep. And it was your child, the addict, and you as the sober one, now would you be able to feel our pain?
Yes. I can answer that I'm just a little old enough to have kids. I'm not that old, Felicia, to be quite honest with you. I'm joking. No, I can answer that. I don't have an addict child, but I do have a child that has dealt with mental issues, mental instability, if I could say that. And I'm going to tell you, dude, I'm going to tell you something. No names. Okay. Thank you for reminding me.
No names.
I do have, and I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you something. Being a recovering addict, it was straight down my line, bro. Because with me and this child, I was able to feel her. I was able to feel him, and I was able to apply the program of Narcotics Anonymous and what I was taught. And it was straight down the line, man. And we were able to communicate, and I was able to feel the pain and the everything. And we cried together, we laughed together, and many times I got her. I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the shoulder, man. That I'm glad at the time I was like, and I shed a tear because I said, man. This, how like on the Penguins, they said, okay, boys, this is what we practice for, right? This is the deal, man. This is the real deal. And boy, I tell you what, man, all the heartache, everything that I went through, even the fight in jail was all worth it. to get to the point to where my daughter could lean on me, and we worked through some stuff together, man. We worked through some stuff together. We worked through some pain, and we've laughed together. We've cried together, and I let her know, listen here, bro, I'm here for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm here no matter what. If nobody else is going to understand you, I get you.
Yeah, remind me to talk about that, but offline.
Okay.
We're gonna talk.
All right.
You know, in
Thank you again, Felicia, for that question.
In my
Your case,
experience,
okay.
Yeah, I lied, and you know, I lied a lot to my girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I said I was doing this, when I was doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it got to the point where I thought I was hiding but it was visible,
Mm-hmm.
and it was visible to them as
right.
well. And my biggest regret is time.
Mm.
You know, the time that I could have spent with them, watching them grow up as, you know, to become, you know, the beautiful people they are today,
Mm-hmm.
and not have, you know, I didn't cherish those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my biggest regret, was not spending as much time with them as I could have when they were little. And now that they're getting older, it's like, shit, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's out of everything is that's my biggest regret.
I think a lot of us go through that. I think a lot of us, you know, we you know, there, you know, we can't get time back. But we can do it different this time, though.
Yeah.
We do have that opportunity, man. We lived through our experience, man, and we have the opportunity to make it different this time. And you know what I mean?
We talked about it last time a little bit, how I got my job graduating hard.
Yeah.
And that's why, man, because I was like, you know, all that time I could have spent with her, things.
The school or what? What do you mean?
All the
time. But and not to break up your story, but when my daughter Ricky, no names, when she graduated high school, we were at the I guess NRG or something stadium.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, man, and Ricky's down there at the bottom, and all the whole family's there. And the principal is talking, and he's talking about, yes. So, well, what's not important is the we have the when they come into high school, and is there 4 years of high school or 6? 4.
6 for you.
6 for me. That's like, where do you get 4 from, man? I was like, isn't it 6? But so he's like, yeah. So I
don't know about that.
I know, right? So he says, y'all come in the whatever year, and you spend these 4 years, and during these 4 years, y'all graduating now, but in between, y'all took trips to Alaska. Y'all did these things. Y'all played in Bliss, and y'all played that, and y'all played blah blah blah. And it's the comma, not a comma. What do they call this line? Is it a comma? Not a comma. What's the hyphen?
Oh, yeah.
The hyphen. He says what's not important is when you start in those 4 in the 4 years, the 4th year at the end. It's that hyphen in the middle, right? All the things that y'all did to get there, blah blah blah, with your family, with your dad, and all this shit. And I'm going, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything with Ricky. I was trying to get my life together still. I was trying to, you know what I mean? I was trying to get my life together, and I'm going to, I started to cry, dude, because I lost all that time. I didn't do anything with her. I was concentrated. I don't think I had bought him the house yet. I was just trying to make up for lost time. And I had a problem in the beginning with my second oldest, that she was rebelling towards a lot of things before we went through the thing of her going through the recovery to the institution that I put her in, because she was having trouble with her thoughts and stuff. But Eugene at the time was living, and he said, you know what he said? He says, man, Ray, he goes, here's the deal, man. He goes, I've talked to her before, and I don't know, man. Eugene was such a blessing to me. He says, look, here's the deal, man. When you were using drugs, you weren't there, right? You weren't there. Yeah. You were there physically, but you weren't there. And then afterwards, during the blah, 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 you went there. You went to jail. You weren't there. You went to recovery to rehab. You still weren't there in her life. She was alone, right? He goes, now you came out of jail, right? And now you're working and you're trying to catch up, trying to make up for lost time. And she sees you with the judges, the politicians, and you're still not there. You know what I mean? I was like, but Eugene, but I'm trying to, make up so I can be right now, right? So I can financially provide for them. Now I've got to do all these things, like, but you're still not there.
Yeah.
He goes, man, you know what? He says, he told me, you know what? The best gift you can give her, man, is give her some time.
Yeah.
Give her time.
I feel that.
The claps.
Oh.
Time is love, baby. Time is love, right, Ronnie?
Did he really just request the claps?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
It's. I told you before the podcast started.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another question. So, Ronnie, you want to go for that one?
I'm sorry to ask all these questions or voice my opinions, but I just want to understand and have a clear view, because with my dad being an addict and passing from it, he gave me the understanding of addiction. He made me want to understand him and his addiction, and never in a million years did I want to understand an addict at all. But he completely changed my life on the way I view an addict. First of all, Felicia's an amazing person. For her to even be honest and come on here and talk to us honestly, that shows a lot about who you are.
Yeah.
When you start to open up and start to, get suggestions, because she has to get better too. So, yeah, I'm real proud of you, Felicia. Really proud of you. And so
let me so about that question, and to be completely honest with you, I'm an addict and I don't understand.
Mm.
And so I don't have the, you know what I mean? It's to be able to explain an addict to, okay, if I was going to explain an addict to my child, or what I was thinking or going through that time, I wouldn't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I got in trouble this last time,
Mm-hmm.
I remember leaving Brazoria County,
Mm-hmm.
and I was driving home, and the only thing I could think about was like I need to call my daughter, because I know she's been wondering where I've been.
Mm-hmm. When you were in jail or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I called her.
You hadn't called her yet?
No,
okay.
I called her, like we were still on that long road,
mm-hmm.
and I called her. I made it this lab. Like, yeah, this is where I've been, blah blah blah.
You didn't tell her you had been in jail.
Oh, and then I said, you know what? Like in the middle of the conversation, I said, I can't lie to you. I said, I've been in jail, and I told her everything. Like,
what made that change?
I just didn't feel. I knew. Okay, there's a lot of things. I knew she was gonna find out, and I wanted her to hear it from me. And I think that was a big thing. I said, because she's gonna find out. At the time, me and her mother didn't have a great relationship. So if she didn't find out, her mom would have probably told her.
See what I told you?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see what I told you?
Yeah. And I needed her to know that I was struggling,
right,
and that I was gonna fix myself.
But that's the beauty of it. You were already starting to get better. That's why you were honest.
I was leaving
But you were honest with her.
Yeah.
Which means you were honest with yourself.
Okay, I got you.
So now you were already starting to get better and didn't even realize it.
Well, thank you for giving that credit. I'm not willing to give him that kind of credit. I think he just didn't want to get busted. I'll be honest with you, but that's nice of you, Ronnie. You're a lot nicer guy than I am. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So Felicia said, I think that's why I'm so close in understanding my dad, because I suffer from mental health issues and depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder. That's shit.
You spot it, you got it.
What do you mean?
You spot it, you got it. If you can see it in somebody else, and you probably have it.
Oh
Also.
yeah. Well, it's like an addict. An addict can point out an addict.
Oh yeah.
It's like me being a veteran. A veteran can point out a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
like from a distance, and then we can tell what type of veteran you are and what kind of soldier you were, or whatever branch you were in, the type of individual, but just your appearance, your stance, your everything, the way you speak.
Right.
Yeah.
No, man. What I mean, one of the talents that we have as addicts, man, is we can go to a new town and find drugs, man. I mean, we know our people, we know the look, we know the
instantly, instantly.
Yeah, we're like, hey, that dude's cool, hey, right? That dude's cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I posted a couple of things at the bottom, just so you know. If you're
what does Rachel say? Rachel says something, man. Let's not lose her. What does Rachel say?
Oh, shit. Okay,
Let's say.
I didn't see.
What do you say?
There's a fellowship called AI.
Al-Anon.
Al-Anon.
How do you say it?
Al-Anon.
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 You know how to spell.
Okay.
I'm joking.
You spelled it right.
Is that the way
settle down, man. All right. It's cool.
Look, he just didn't read it right. It was written correctly.
No, I would have read it. The way I read it was
What's up? What's up?
I'm not going to give you a hard time.
Okay. Which is a 12-step program for people who love and care for people who are struggling with addiction.
Absolutely.
So, Felicia, I hope you're still listening. We check that out. That might be something that is helpful for you.
Yeah, and I'll definitely talk to her some more. But she's definitely willing to figure this stuff out, which is a beautiful thing, man.
Absolutely.
She's trying to make something good out of a bad situation, and I commend her for that.
Awesome.
Before we end up closing this out, I gotta ask you a question. So, when you start to your recovery process, as you were struggling with your substance abuse, regardless of what it was, and then you started your recovery. Before you started your recovery, when you said things like it was always them, their fault, it's their fault I'm doing this, it's their fault I'm doing this. So
whoever said that, did you ever say that?
I did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you never blame somebody else for what you're doing?
Oh,
okay.
I did.
Absolutely.
You did too?
Yeah, I did too.
How did y'all's brain say that? Look, can we go a little bit over?
I mean, this is your podcast,
no, I'm just I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Why? Who did you blame it? Why did you blame it? Because you took a addictive drug.
So circumstances and stuff happened, and I used it as an excuse.
Well, what does that mean? That's a big word. Can you elaborate on that? I mean, what? Who did you blame and why? Why you blaming someone caused you to use drug? Why?
Why would I take a look at myself when I'm trying to cover up the pain for myself? Why would I blame myself for anything? Why would I do that?
You know why I blame myself?
I
blame myself.
Well, hold on, you're not asking. You're not.
You. Okay.
You're not. The shit made sense to me.
Why would I blame somebody else? I mean, I gotta blame somebody else. It can't be because of me.
What can't be because of you? That you use drugs?
Yes.
Why not?
Well, you blame it on something. So I blame the war. I blame the people. I blamed everything.
What did you use? Why did you use drugs?
Why did you know what? It was an
Don't dissect it. Just tell me why.
I'm going to tell you why. Because it was introduced to me. It came to me, and I chose to take it.
But why
did
you do it?
Because I thought it was fun.
So
it was supposed to be fun.
Was there ever a point that you blamed the person who introduced it to you?
Yes. But listen, but listen to me. Check this out. I blame myself more than them. They didn't force me.
Now you do.
No. Even then and now, they didn't force me, Ronnie. They didn't force me. They didn't put my arm and say, you take this or I'm gonna fucking kill you. No.
Right.
He came, it was interesting, and he's like, hey, check this out, man. And I had tried it before, and I was like, wow, dude, cool. Hey, let's do it. And we did it, and then I liked it, and we did it again. We did it again. I chose to do it again, right? Me, not him. He didn't have no children. He didn't have a wife. He didn't have a fucking house. I had all that. He lived with his fucking mother. What did he have to lose, Ronnie? Not me. I'm the one that fucked up.
And you had all that, and you
I
still fucked
right,
up.
right.
There you
I
go.
blame myself. I don't blame nobody else. I blame my fucking self. Now you want to blame somebody else, and you do too. That's y'all.
No,
I'm talking about me.
I
I'm
did.
talking about me.
No, I'm talking about now. You're talking about.
I'm talking about now, then, and never. Hey,
that's the puppies.
Yeah, I'm talking about now, then, and never.
I don't blame. Now that I've worked steps, I don't blame anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was in my active addiction, of course I blamed everybody else. I'm not going to take no accountability for anything. Why would I do that?
So when you started,
I just can't. Again, you have your right to whatever you do too, and I do too. I never blame nobody else but myself.
You just said you blamed the guy a little bit.
Well, you asked me, you asked me, hey, did you blame him too? Yeah, I kind of blamed him too for. I mean, just like me, Ronnie. Look, just like me, we talked this earlier. I said, hey, listen, man, if we go somewhere and I'm gonna feel guilty because I have a conscience that I introduced you to this, and I took somebody to their comfort zone and introduced them to something new that maybe is not good for you.
I think I may have. I think I understand. I think I may have said it wrong. What I'm trying to say is, before my recovery, I felt better with myself doing what I was doing because I did blame other people.
Correct.
I said, it's because of this. It's not even people. Maybe it was a thing. I know.
Are you just taking Ronnie's side?
No. I'm trying to, but since
it's a conspiracy against me.
So
no, we're dissecting it.
So
that's awesome.
So when I started my recovery and I started all those them turned into me. And I knew it. But that's because I wanted to take my recovery, serious. I was ready for change. And I don't think that what I'm trying to say is I don't think you can start your recovery officially until you turn those dems into me's. That's what I'm saying.
Why? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it. Just like I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense to me because ultimately, like I said, dude, I'm the one that made the decision. You know what I mean? I'm the one that decision, right? So, I mean, we have to take accountability for our actions then, now, and in the future. Always. Like I said, dude, I blame myself. Yeah, I also blame the dude. He should have came to my fucking house and brought me that bullshit, right? I mean, is that a friend? No. Right? I mean, it's not. It was evil, right?
So you got somebody on your side.
Cool.
Right. I'm with Cruz on this one. I like to get high. I took all the blame for everything 150%.
Rachel, she does care. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's different for all of us, man. That's the beauty about this thing. Some of us agree, some of us don't agree. We all had different experiences, right? You used a certain way, you used a different, and I used another. The thing is, it's all the same because we all used, and it all took us down a path that was horrible.
Marco said, I blame
Texas barbecue for my stomach. Marco, what's up, Marco? That's my homework right there, man, Marco.
Like me and Raul talked about, though.
What did you say?
Everyone's path to recovery is different. Yeah. But the end result is recovery.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care how you get there.
Right.
Like we were talking about. Not everybody goes to meetings. People go to counselors. People have a small group that they talk to. I don't care how you fucking get it. I just want you to get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how we can help.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I mean, one way that we help is you, Raul, you, and myself. We share our experience, strength, and hope, whatever that may be, and however we get it, man. And that's what we talked about and this isn't a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and we're not associated with any organizations, political, religious, or whatever. Right? But we do talk about the program that we all look at the similarities between us, and we're all recovering addicts, man. We've all had that same problem, however it may be, but there is a solution, man. There's the antidote, right? The antidote is what we talk about, the ultimate deal, right? And that's all we all look for is the antidote to this problem, to this disease, right? And what is it is that we all help each other out, man. We call each other, we support each other, we love each other until we get until we get healthy, right? Healthy by I'm not talking about healthy, Ronnie, not Raul. I'm talking about healthy up here.
Yeah,
Mentally healthy, mental. We could start being part of, throw back or go back into society, man, and start, to school, continue your education, continue to grow in the career, in the podcasting. Raul, you do the podcast not just here, but you also do. You work. Raul works with a lot of military. What do you call it?
Veterans.
Veterans.
Yeah.
Veterans that are suffering. He do a lot of great work. And Ronnie, you share your experience, strength, and hope, man. And you tell people that, look, I can have a relationship, I can get married and go to school and have a career, and that's wonderful. I don't know what I bring to it, but I have a man. I have a.
Don't give him too much credit. His head's
already.
big
I done told people that I went to school for 6 years what was it? High school for 6 years. Y'all busted me, man.
No, because you liked it so much.
I failed the 11th grade. I failed the 9th grade because I didn't know good English. Or was that first grade? I don't remember. It was first grade. I failed because I didn't know English.
It's probably counting skills. Is what
that's exactly.
Hey, it's all good. It ain't start. It's not where you start. It's where you finish.
That's right on, because it's not, and it's a hyphen too, baby.
Yeah,
a hyphen. So yeah, good. So Ronnie, yes, that's the deal with it. Hey, and I want to thank everybody for showing up. What is this? Noe, what's all right, let's get your wife. Yeah. Let's get her in, man.
Yeah,
no,
man.
Tell her to call us, man. Tell her to call us, and we'll get her in. Absolutely,
definitely.
We would love to have her.
We'd love to hear it.
And I'm sorry, Raul has to give me the call. He just said, "Don't come in no names." I'm bad about it. Throwing people under the bus. Sorry.
He says,
"I'm working on it, man.
I'm not gonna say your name, Raul."
Raul.
He knew your wife's name. He just didn't want to say it.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I was gonna say, but Raul stopped me because Raul, he's our engineer, man.
So
he keeps us in line.
Good job, Raul.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Yeah, he said it.
Okay, all right. Is it okay we say it? Yeah, we would love it. We're gonna say it right now, Lindsay. We invite you to the program. We would love to hear your story because we want to see the perspective, and we want to know, the wife, with the relationship and how she puts up with Noe's bullshit, right? We want to hear about all that. Okay, Lindsay, please, if you hear us now, to Noe and get you in the show, we're very interested. We would love to have you on. Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Because Ronnie has questions for you, and Raul has questions for you, and this is going to be a trio. We're going to be a powerhouse, man. We're gonna hit it hard, man. We're gonna hit it hard, man.
Excited.
And yes, and we're gonna make some changes, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna rattle some cages, that's for sure. You know what I mean? But awesome. Ricky, I know, I'm sorry. Hey, bear with me, dog. He's from the hood, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's from the hood. These guys remember me when I was over there on Puro Pinche Wagon Trail, vato, right, Noe? Hey, and Marco, they're both from the hood, bro. Marco and Noe.
His barbecue team. Right?
Yeah, dude. These Wagon Trail cookers, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where's my shirt at, Noe? Tu Pinche Marco, where's my shirt? He gives me a Wagon Trail shirt. He invited me to be a cook there and everything. And
you can cook?
I could cook, yeah. I don't need no meat no more, but I can cook. In fact, next time,
I'm stupid, man. I used to come to all the Fajita Fridays.
Dude, I'm Fajita Friday, dog. Dude, you
yeah,
forget, huh?
Yeah.
You got to give me
been
some props,
so
dog. I know.
long,
Hey,
man.
wait, it's coming back. It's coming back with a vengeance, man. We're gonna have a freaking party.
I know.
I'm claiming it now.
Bro,
I don't care. Lisa says she's not gonna help me, but I don't care.
I know Lisa hates that.
I don't care. Yeah, she's not invited. God, I'm saying right now, Lisa Cruz, you're not invited to the first Fajita Friday unless you cook. Hey, there you go, Noe.
He said, man.
Thank you, Noe. I appreciate it, man.
He's come a long way.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Put a pinche wagon trail, bro. Put a pinche wagon trail.
Hey,
huevo.
With that, man, we're gonna go ahead and start winding it down,
right, man.
Can you believe we've been on almost an hour and 30 minutes?
Holy moly, man! Ronnie can talk.
Ricky talks a lot.
Hey, with that, guys, if you're struggling and you want to reach out for help, we recommend walking in one of the rooms.
Right on.
Going in and giving it your all. You have to put in the work if you want to continue your path of recovery.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you you can always go to, we're not affiliated, but we're just letting this information out. So if you go to na.org, go to find places, and you'll be able to put in your state, your local zip code, and find the closest NA meeting next to you. I hope it was okay. I said
that. Absolutely. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And we also have, Raul, the email for support at the big house to the penthouse.com. Can they email us there for if they want to set up an appointment or they want to set up an interview or whatever? For
definitely. If you have any questions, support at bighouse2penthouse.com.
Yes.
If you want more information, it's www.
There's Gordo. There he is. When's Fajita Friday? It's coming up, dog. It's gonna be soon. I can already smell the fajitas. I can already smell them.
And then if you put in www.penthouse.com, that's the website. So be sure to check us out.
Share it too, man. Share it.
Tomorrow it'll be available on all podcast platforms. So be sure to share it. Tell your friends you liked it. I mean, if you didn't like it, still tell your friends.
Yeah,
maybe
still tell your friends. Yeah, maybe they. Yeah, absolutely.
Ernesto wants to know when is Fajita Friday.
It's coming, man. It's not gonna be too much longer.
Felicia says, "Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Wish others had the opportunity to see a sober life like you guys."
We're rocking it.
Thank you,
Thank you for joining us, Felicia. Marco, everybody, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it. Puro pinche wagon trail.
As always, y'all. Be sure to share, like, subscribe.
Hey, Raul, that Ronnie, how does it go? How's our jingle go, man?
Hey.
Huh?
Go ahead.
The lie is dead.
The lie is dead. We do recover.
We do recover. Right on.